Hi everyone. Today, for the end of the year, I thought I'd show you the updated collection, which I think the last time that I did that was about March. So I thought it was time to update you on what planners I still have, on what I've sold, and what is my lineup for 2020 really. So I thought I'd show them to you as they are on my shelves on my desk. So let's get right to it. On the left, there's the Van der Sperk A5, the Touch Me Manager, which at the moment is not being used for anything. I find the Van der Sperk rings quite big, so although I love it, I love this planner, I don't think I'm ever going to sell it. It's just the way my brain works is that sometimes I see a planner and it speaks to me and it comes to me what I'm going to use it for. So, you know, like I have this one I'm using for a particular project. I would never think to use this one for the same project. For some reason, it wouldn't work. It wouldn't connect to that project, if that makes sense. So that's how I find uses for planners in the end. I don't decide beforehand. If I come up with a new project or a new course that I need to take, then I'll somehow my brain will look at all the planners that I have and say, okay, you're the one for this project. You're meant to be. So that's how it gets decided for me. It's weird. It may be weird. Then I have the croc, the classic croc from Filofax. So these two are my absolute favorites. I'm never going to sell these two. I can sell everything else, but these two I'm never going to sell. Even though I'm not using them now. I know I love them, but I just haven't found the best use for them yet. Then is the same classic croc, but in fawn. Then I've got the Moterm, which I bought from AliExpress. Then I've got my Moldens, which is the Kingfisher Blue and the purple. And as you can see, I'm using it for a particular project. I love this. I'm not a big fan of purple, but this planner is gorgeous. And somehow I like it more than the Kingfisher Blue, although you know that I'm all about the teal and the blues. But somehow I love this one more than the Kingfisher. I don't know why, it's weird. I thought it would be the other way around, but there you go. That's my top shelf. Now going to the bottom one. I've got the Flex Slim, to which I added rings, as you know, and I'm using that for a project. I have the Lizard Print, which is leather flex, to which I also added rings, and I'm using that to store some inserts connected to one of the fields I used to work in. Then I have the white clip book, which I'm going to be selling. Then, as you know, I used to have one petrol blue clip book, which you know I love them. I love them so much. I got a second one. I saw it probably last month or 2 months ago on warehouse deals. I think it was only like £7 or £9. And I said, you know what, I love the petrol blue so much, I'm gonna get 2 of them. And that's it. So once I got the second one, I decided I'll be selling the white one. Then I have these 3. One was a present, the other 2 then I found on warehouse deals as well, quite cheaply. And basically they're being used for random notes whenever I watch a YouTube video or whenever. It's just like your usual, whatever you call them, jotter pads, whatever comes to mind. That's what I grab and I note it down. Okay, I'm going to move now to the other side of my shelves. So we're on the right hand side of my desk now, and this is the top shelf, and as you can see I've sold one of the A5s that I had, which was the Napa in vanilla, the A5. No matter how much I loved it, how I loved its its style, it was such a classic and the colors were beautiful and it was so elegant and I loved it. But it had stiffener, it has that cardboard inside, and you know what, at the end of the day, who am I kidding? You know, I like just floppy and malleable planners. So pretty much the only one that's left now that has stiffener, there's only 3 now left. And this is one of them, which is the Rose Gold Saffiano. And I have some of my favorite originals. I don't particularly like all the other colors, they might be too bright for me, so I have the patent purple, the nude, the duck egg, and this is the navy, which I found quite cheaply on the buy sell trade on Facebook. Although, as I keep saying, the Filofax bubble has burst. They're very cheaply now, and no one really buys them. They don't sell at prices they used to be sold even 3 years ago, 2 years ago. So at least here in the UK, you can now buy Finchleys and Astons for £15, and they keep sitting there on eBay and nobody wants them. So there you go. I think in the end, I definitely have another A5 in mind to buy, so that will be filled. That might go and it will probably be replaced by a dark aqua when I find one at a price I'm prepared to pay. And I think that's the plan for this shelf. And at the bottom again, as you can see, I've sold a few more, and I've got my Ment Van der Sperk, which I also love, but again, you know, I moved out of it because the rings are so big and for an everyday carry it just doesn't work. And then my beloved Calypso in teal. I used to store in it all the inserts that I have from my weekly spread, and then at the end of the year I review the year, I note down important dates and things like that, and then I keep that for a sort of list of memories for the year. I don't do memory keeping, but I do lists for every year to just remind myself of what happened each year and what was, you know, important dates and significant events. Then I have the Slim Holborn, which is my meal prep, shopping lists, and recipes. I use that on a daily basis. Then this is my Kingfisher Blue Malden, which I've had a love-hate relationship with. I'm not a big Malden fan, shock horror. I can't connect to the Malden as, you know, the way I connect to the Calypso, to the Van der Sperk, to the classic croc, for some reason. But it took me a while to find a use for it, and when I was looking for a place to store my cash envelopes, it was just eureka. It made sense. And now I have cash envelopes in there, and I'm going to do a video with it probably in January. I was going to do a video with it in December, but HMRC basically screwed up my plans because they gave me a rebate, and then it was, I wanted to show a regular salary, not a month where I had extra money from somewhere, so that wouldn't have been accurate, so I think I'm going to do one for January. This is my travel Filofax. As you know, this one has euros and pounds and coins and packing lists and document holder, so whenever I travel, instead of having the wallet and my planner, I just have this thing, which is very, very slim. And it's a 3-in-1 basically. And then I have my cover story, which I've loved over the years, and I'm finally falling out of love with it. I used to have a different one, which I sold, and then I purchased it again. So, and that is being used for storing different tabs and dividers and things like that. And then my everyday carry is my Motorum, which I love. I'm still in it. This will be my everyday carry for 2020. It's all set up and ready to go. Some documents here at the back. So that's it. So that is my update. What I also have is 3 A4 flexes to which I edit rings. I'm not quite sure how that is working out at the moment, but it's just like document holders. So those are in my drawers, and I have 2 A4 Holborns as well, which again are in their boxes just because the A4 just doesn't fit here on these shelves. I'd need an extra like 2 centimeters to fit the A4s here. So that's why they're in my drawers at the moment. So that's it, that's my entire collection, about 32, 33. There's one Flex A5 to which I edit rings, and that is at work. That's been my work Filofax for the past 3 or 4 years now, just because it's a slim. and it's very easy to just to take notes in that, so that always stays at work. So that is it. I think it's about 32 or 33 Filofaxes altogether, including the notebooks. So that is my update. I sold the A5 Vanilla Napa. I sold the Lockwood Teal Aqua Lockwood, which was here, which I loved, but finally I decided to let go, because whenever I thought, okay, it's time to sell you, I would just sort of pick it up and touch it, and I would put it back on the shelves and no, you're still staying with me. Just because the leather is so luscious. I love the Lockwood leather. I love that color. The Lockwood teal is a beautiful color. But again, it has the stiffener, it has the cardboard inside. So after, I've had it for, I don't know, 3-4 years, and it was just being used for storage, so it's moved on. I finally let go of it. Yeah, I think these are the last 2 Filofaxes that I sold, the Napa and the Lockwood. And that's it. So that is the update. We have a plan for January to see whether I do the cash envelope video for you. I probably want to do a walkthrough to this one. I've done a video when I've moved into it, but I didn't do a walkthrough, so I can do a flip through probably in January as well. And that's it. The ones that I actually use, since we're doing sort of a planner lineup for the year, the ones that I use on a daily basis are the small term, which is my everyday carry, the slim flex, which I have at work, which gets used every day, the Malden, which is my cash envelope for the month. This is where I store the money that, you know, my budget for the month. When I do the video, it will probably all be clearer. I use this one on a daily basis for grocery shopping lists, for recipes. It literally gets used almost every day, even though I don't cook every day, but again, I write there what I need to buy next time I go to the grocery store. If I watch a video of a recipe that I find interesting, it gets noted there as well, so it is being used regularly. The travel one doesn't get used regularly, only when we travel outside the country. What else? This one, the original duck egg, gets used quite a few times every week, because it currently houses a project. So whenever I work on the project, whether it's in the evening when I come from work or Saturday mornings or Sunday mornings, that gets used. Again, the Calypso teal gets used again very often during the week, because it's used for storage, and I look back at it whenever I need to see the notes for a particular week. As I said, I store the inserts here for the year, so it gets checked regularly. And let me think what else I use on a regular basis. Let's throw in the Petrol Blue clipbook, because again, it has one of the projects on which I work quite often. So again, this one gets used whenever I work on the project, whether it's when I come from work or Saturday mornings or Sunday mornings. And yeah, so there you go. This is what gets used almost on a daily basis. 6 planners plus the one that I have at work. 7 planners. So that is technically my lineup for 2020 with my everyday carry. Okay, I feel like I've been talking too fast. I was trying to make a shorter video than I usually make them. So I think I've touched up pretty much upon everything I wanted to touch upon. So I will see you in January. Happy 2020, everyone. And I'll see you in my next video. Bye.